here. There's been some pretty interesting stuff coming around in the EV news, that's for sure. But in this next topic, it looks like GM has killed their Tesla killer. Of course, we're talking about a certain GM electric vehicle that is supposed to be coming out, or that was already out, and GM has killed the production of it in favor of another EV electric vehicle. So we'll take a look at it. But if you're just joining in, my name is Dennis. I love talking about Tesla hacking, as I like to call it, but basically just getting the best deal on Tesla at the best financing rate. So definitely hit that subscribe if you're interested. And today's video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link down below in the description if you want to support the channel, but more on that later. All right, so let us take a look at this. So GM is ending the Chevy Bolt production by year's end. I mean, this is a pretty interesting to say the least, because I feel like Chevy Bolt and the Chevy Bolt EUV are pretty much the volume vehicles for GM, but I guess they are starting to realize that it's hard to sell and make profit at that certain level, especially with those vehicles, because I want to say those vehicles are what, like $25,000 to $30,000, but of course there's dealers that could mark up it in between, and of course there is a $7,500 federal tax credit. But at the end of the day, like, this is very interesting, but it seems like they've got good reason, right? They're going to cease the production of the Chevy Bolt EV and EUV because they're going to retool the factory for Chevy Silverado and GMC Sierra truck production in 2024. I wonder if they've talked to the Ford side and how Ford might potentially have a problem with selling their Ford F-150 Lightnings, and no one's necessarily, or there's less people and less demand buying them, because I guess at the end of the day, a truck at that high caliber it's a lot of vehicle, a lot of money. I mean, Tesla's having, maybe some would say, a little bit of trouble selling the Model S and the X right now at the 70 to 90K price points. And so that's probably happening across the board. I mean, there's probably just less and less and less buyers as you go up the price of certain vehicles. And I mean, it makes sense at the end. And that's why Tesla is dropping the price on the Model 3 and the Model Y. But definitely some pretty interesting stuff. I mean, they certainly produced and sold a lot of Chevy Bolt and Bolt EUVs. I'm glad I'm glad we never purchased one of these, because it seems like it's not a long-term car, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, Chevy could always bring this back, or GM could always bring this back in the near future, but it is very interesting to see that as vehicles on the cusp of production, maybe, of course, we talk about a Tesla $25,000 vehicle Model 2 that might be coming out, and we're starting to see other manufacturers pulling out of that price segment. So let me know what your thoughts on it. Let me know what you're thinking. Do you, I mean, this is, I guess, Tesla killer, or the Tesla killer has been killed, and Model 3 reigns, and maybe potentially a newer model vehicle. But we're going to jump into the next topic. But before we do that, this video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link. Down below in the description is the Patreon link where you can support the channel. So definitely check it out if you're